Tonight, we have a more perfect, or could not have a more perfect person to talk to. Congressman Jason Smith, Republican from my home state of Missouri, chair of the powerful House Ways and Means Committee, most powerful committee in Congress. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Welcome back. What's more important, passing it by July 4th or the nitty-gritty of what's actually in it?
What's most important is to make sure that what we put on the president's desk is right and the best policies that deliver for working families, small businesses, and farmers, and to deliver on the campaign promises that President Trump had. I believe we're going to still get there by July 4th, but we're going to make sure it's right when we do get there.
How bare knuckles are we expecting the president, or do you expect the president to get on quite a few holdouts? Tom Massey, Andy Harris, Ralph Northam, Chip Roy, Marjorie Taylor Greene said she's a no today, Rand Paul, Ron Johnson, Susan Collins, Josh Hawley, your senator from Missouri, Lisa Murkowski, Alaska, Jeffrey Moran of Kansas. If half of those people hold to their guns, this thing doesn't work.
This has definitely been the process throughout the last 6 months, whether it was the budget resolution or getting the 215 votes out of the House. We passed it 215 to 214 the first time, just about 5 weeks ago today, in fact. We'll be able to do it. There's no greater
So how bare knuckles does President Trump have to get?
Hopefully he doesn't have to get too involved, but the president's the most involved executive I've ever worked with. I've worked with several different presidents, several different governors. He is definitely the most involved, engaging, and he's going to make sure that this package does make it on his desk.
To that point, you say he's the most involved. Has Republicans in Congress given up legislating and changing and basically just view themselves as street fighters in Donald Trump's gang, mission, army, whatever, to get his policies enacted?
We view ourselves as a partnership with the president to deliver for the people who sent us to Washington, the 77 million people that sent him to Washington and also sent to House and Senate Republican majority. It just so happens we're all fighting and pushing for the same thing. We're all on the same page, which is a good place to be. There will be disagreements along the way. There always is. It's just the natural process of legislating.
How high are the stakes? If failure is not an option, as you say, if it fails, how high are the stakes?
It would be devastating to our economy. Americans would face the largest tax increase in the history of America. On average,
so you're not saying it's make or break for Trump. You're saying it's make or break for America.
For the economy, because that would send our economy into a recession faster than you can imagine. We've already faced a 20+% inflation increase over the last 4 years. The last thing they need is a 22% tax increase. People have been struggling. They need to make sure they have certainty in the tax code, and we're going to get certainty also in trade policy down the road.
So that would be, I mean, obviously horrible for Trump if this didn't pass.
It'd be horrible for Americans. It's not about
for the president, or
what's that?
If it'd be horrible for America, then it's horrible for Republicans because you guys control the House, the Senate, and the White House, and horrible for the president who's leader of the party, right?
The biggest direction is that it would be horrible for all Americans, regardless if they're Republican or Democrat. That's why we cannot fail. This bill provides permanency of all the expiring provisions of the successful 2017 tax cuts, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, tax relief for seniors. It will only create a stronger, better economy that's focused on made in America products.
All right, so views on Trump's one big beautiful bill. Pew Research, 49% oppose, only 29% support. KFF, 64% opposed, 35% support. Fox News, 59% opposed, 38% support. Washington Post, 42% opposed, 23% support. What is the disconnect here?
So those poll numbers that you just get are not the poll numbers that I have in my congressional district in Missouri, let alone...
You have one of the reddest congressional districts that exists.
It is one of the most reddest, and so we're delivering on the priorities of the people who sent us to Washington. These are real reforms for working class families. We're increasing the child tax credit. We're increasing the standard deduction. We're providing no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. These are things that affect real working class Americans. We're making sure that every tax rate does not go up. This is popular. Every poll is determined by how it's asked and the nature
true.
of it. So all I can say is when I'm traveling this country, and we've traveled all over, they're in support of this.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.